I didn't know that this item is something that I needed in my life. Like, fully, straight on needed. Not just because I sit at a computer all day, but because in general, I've always had some problems with my eyes. So I got LASIK to fix an astigmatism, which means that you're squinting a lot in order to change the refraction of your eyeball, right? It's been 10 years since I got it, so I do wear glasses at the computer now just to help reduce the strain. Anyway, long story short, anything that I can do to reduce fatigue of my eyes, I am all for. Now, that being said, I always thought monitor lights were a gimmick. I didn't believe in them. I didn't think they were worth it. I just thought it was a bunch of bull. You know what I'm saying? Well, turns out it's not. And after using them for the last couple of weeks, I can tell you, wow, like eye fatigue, long gaming sessions, long editing sessions, editing photos, daytime, nighttime, you name it. Wow, it changed everything. So what is a monitor light? It is a light that goes on top of your monitor like so and illuminates your desk in an asymmetrical pattern. That's like this. So it doesn't hit your monitor and it hits your desk and your keyboard and the surrounding area around it to kind of brighten up what might be a dark room or dark area of your desk if you don't have lamps or desk lamps or overhead lighting. Me personally, my room is pretty warm, the lighting. I have warm LEDs behind for bias lighting behind the monitor, which also helps with eye fatigue. I have warm, salt lamps, but nothing very bright. And usually I'm sitting here, in the dark, pretty much. This changed that because at night, when you turn the temperature down like that, wow. It literally changes everything. So I went down the rabbit hole and I started looking at all the different types of monitor lights that there are, because obviously you want to get the best deal. And I landed on a company called Quntis. I don't know. Quntis. Probably Quntis. I'm going to go with Quntis. I think I've said the word enough now. We're just going to go with it. They have two lights. They have the Pro, which is this little guy. And then they have the Pro Plus, which is the one that you just saw me using over there. There are a couple differences, and I'm going to get into that. But first, let me just tell you, no matter what the outcome is here, no matter what the pros and cons are, you need to pick up a monitor light if you are in a dark room, if you get eye fatigue, if you struggle with that, if you wear glasses, if you read at your desk, anything that you do at night, even during the day. When you change the temperature to this, I find that the screen just looks better. My keyboard looks better. Everything is better. Pick the cheapest monitor light out there, a $10 monitor light. I don't care. Get one. They're awesome. And that out of the way, let's dive into what we have here. So the Quntis Pro, which is just the smaller version, it has capacitive touch buttons on the top. Quntis Pro is 15 inches long. It is a maximum lux of greater than or equal to 700. We're going to get into that in a minute. I'm going to talk about the luxes in a second. This is rated at greater or equal to 700, and it doesn't have a remote control. It goes from 3,000 Kelvin, which is warmer, up to, I think, 5,600 or 6,000 Kelvin, which is cooler. That's also debatable, but we'll get into that as well later. So now the Pro, it is larger. It's 20 inches across, which is really good for a 30-inch monitor, which is what you're looking at, or 32-inch monitor. It has a remote control. It does not have capacitive buttons, no buttons at all, actually. You just control everything with the little puck. It has a rated lux of greater than or equal to 1200. It has the same warmth and cold values as the smaller one, but again, there's some discrepancies. The lux and the Kelvin values on these are a little bit, they're not very accurate. I don't know exactly what tomfoolery they are doing to get these ratings, but when I measured it, you do not get even close to the outputted lux that you're supposed to. The Pro Plus, while brighter, I do not believe that the Pro Plus is even close to 1200 or greater lux. Like that, I just nope, not a chance in hell. Under the perfect circumstances, maybe. And then the Pro was very bright in a larger spot, and then not bright at all around the edges of that. So that diffusion on the Pro Plus is giving it a gradual dispersion of light, which is good. You want that. The Pro is giving it a harsher dispersion of that light, which I think is why it makes it a little bit more difficult to read or see your keyboard with the Pro, because as it's coming out, the light is harshly changing, and our eyes can't adjust for harsh changes, whereas the diffused version is gradually changing, and so our eyes can adjust to that better. So I do think that the Pro Plus has a big advantage on that. Oddly enough, the cheaper one, in my opinion, the cheaper one, even though it doesn't get as bright, has the better Kelvin values. It goes to about 2800 from what I measured, and it's pretty warm and it's pretty accurate to what that Kelvin value should be, whereas the Quntis Pro Plus is a little bit more towards the cooler end. Around 3000 is the lowest it'll go, which is what it's rated for, but these things, it's a different color, it's a different hue of Kelvin, which that can happen depending on what LEDs they're using, what diffusion they're using. The warmth value on this Kelvin is a little bit on the yellow tint. Me personally, I'm a big fan of the warmth on the Pro over the Pro Plus, because it doesn't get warm enough to match what I have in my bias lighting behind my monitors. So that kind of sucks. I don't think either of them are actual Kelvin values. I mean, I have lights everywhere here right now, and I set them to daylight, and I know what daylight and these things should be set to, and the accuracy is, it's not there. To be completely straight with you, it's just not there. However, the normal everyday person, will they notice? That is the real question. No, you will not notice. You will not notice at all. So, which one do you pick then? Do you get the $35 Pro, or do you go with the $70 Pro Plus? That is determined by a bunch of factors. So again, the Pro is just capacitive touch. You can only adjust by touching the top of your light bar. Yeah, the capacitive touch buttons, they work, but you do get times when they don't. So my left hand registers really well with these, but my right hand, for some reason, there we go, does not register. Come on, brightness. Does not register. You can see I'm tapping it a bunch of times. It just doesn't register with my right finger. My left finger, we're cool. And that's capacitive touch, but also that's also the way that they made their capacitive touch. So I guess my left finger is warmer. That's the only thing I can guess. Or I have more finger particles in there, and this one is just the calloused nightmare. I don't know. All I know is that this, sometimes they don't register. That's one thing to note. The Pro also, because it has no diffusion, it seems to be a little bit more of a straight line with its asymmetrical lighting, and it will go down harsher. But that also means that because it has a shorter attachment to your monitor, it tends to hit your monitor more unless you point it up more, which can then have the little bit of the bar that you see, the light here, that can actually hit you in the eyes a little bit. I actually made a little bit of gaff tape screen here for this one, and doing this will actually help, but then your monitor looks really stupid. But it allows you to point it up further, which is great. But do you really want to do that? And then you lose, like, you know, being able to see the buttons, and all the capacitive buttons have a marker next to them, and you can see where they are just by looking, and then instead of fiddling around. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you're buying something like this, maybe you don't want to put a piece of tape on it, right? Like, that kind of ruins the whole aesthetic of the entire thing. So pros and things that I really love about the Pro is the color temperature. I think that the warm color temperature is just better. I think it's better. I don't know what makes it better. Maybe it's the lack of diffusion. Maybe the LEDs are different inside of it. Maybe if you got a different unit, it would be different. There is a margin of error with LEDs, right? And so my unit is just really nice and warm, and I enjoy the warm lighting, especially in a gaming session. That warm lighting really makes a gaming session nice. Like if you're playing Red Dead and you're in a forest, you want it to be warmer. You don't want it to be like a cool warm. You want it to really go and, you know, really, really dive into the warmth. However, there are some things about the Pro Plus that make it a superior light overall. Let's talk about it. You got the Pro Plus, okay? And it is larger. You can see that here. The size difference, it's a big difference. It's got more distance from your screen due to the way it's mounted, so you have less bleed onto your screen. However, there's always howevers with these, right? Because it is a frosted glass versus a clear glass, that is diffusing your light, and it's causing it to push back onto your monitor a little bit more. It's a diffused light hitting your monitor versus a harsh light, but it is kind of breaking that asymmetrical that you want, and it's making it do like this a little bit more. So that, I think, is why they made it so it's further off of your monitor. Now, had they done that with this one, if they gave us the bigger extension with the Pro, you might have the perfect light. The Pro with the Pro Plus's mount, I think, would be the perfect light. It would be far enough away where you could, not where you could use the asymmetrical lighting properly, and you wouldn't have to point it up or put any of the gaff tape or anything. It would be far enough away from the monitor that asymmetrical lighting just nails it at the right way, so you don't see any light in your eyes. So the lux that you get, you're going to want the most power you can get, and that's where the Pro Plus is definitely a bonus, and it definitely is noticeable. Like, this is really hitting I have the Pro Plus up there right now, and it's really hitting my keyboard. It's further away from the monitor. It lights up a larger area of my desk, which is also nice. But there's also a negative to that, is that it hits a little bit of my monitor here. It lights up my white speaker a little bit more, so there I have more reflections in my eyes. So for me, it's a toss-up between the two. But let's stay on topic. So the Pro, right, is the lower light, the warmer color, takes up less space on your monitor, which is nice. Capacitive touch buttons, no puck, so you can't just adjust it on the fly. That also means that it's only stepping colors when you tap it. You can hold it down to adjust the color temperature, but you have to hold it down and then release exactly when you want it, and the likelihood that you get it where you want it is impossible. So you're just stuck pretty much with 4 different settings, which is dark, medium, in brightnesses, it's 4 different brightnesses. And then for the color, you have 1 warmth color, and then you have 3 brightness colors. And one is a white, then there's like a blue, and then there's like a middle ground. Honestly, I don't know what Kelvin values those are. They're different. With this, you have much more granular control because you are using the puck to do it. And also the brightness, you are using the puck to do it as well. There are no capacitive touch buttons whatsoever. Oh, they both have light sensors, by the way, where you can double tap and it will see what's in the room, and it adjusts based off of the light in the room. I am not a huge fan of that because it doesn't step very smoothly. It's a flicker. You kind of see a flicker. They're flickerless, by the way, if you care about that. They have been tested to be flickerless, so that's why we can record this and you don't see and that's good for your eyes. However, when you're adjusting them, yes, they will do a little bit of a flicker. And it's just because they're not smoothly transitioning from one brightness to the next. It's like jumping from like 10% to 20 instead of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You understand? Okay. I'm trying to break this down really well for you so that you make the right choice. The puck. Let's talk about the puck. The puck is cool, except it takes forever. Like, there's so many rotations that need to happen to get it to its brightest and then to get it back to its lowest. And then, did you see how it just got warm and dark? There's a reason for that. So let me make it super bright real quick. The top adjusts the warmth, right? And then this adjusts the brightness. However, you will often hit those two at the same time. And so what happens is you end up adjusting your brightness and your warmth, and you're like, So first world problems, but it is a thing that you should think about. On the desk, it is definitely a much more pain in the butt to do, but it's nice to have the puck, I will say, especially if you want to adjust on the fly your warmth or I think the Kelvin value adjustment is awesome. It's just that brightness. It's like, come on. Okay. If you pick the puck up, by the way, and you just rotate the bottom, super fast to adjust the brightness. So which one is going to stay on my computer? Right now, I'm still debating whether the warm value of the Pro is more important to me than the convenience of the Pro Plus. Yeah, I really like the puck. I really like that I can adjust on the fly. I do end up using the light more during the day when I have the puck versus when I have the capacitive touch. I tend to not use it. And so I just turn it on at night. When I have the puck, I tend to be adjusting it all day, which is pretty cool. I feel like I will probably stick with the Pro Plus, even though it's not as warm. I would prefer that it were warmer, but hey, you can't have everything you want. They do have another light, and it's like in the middle of these two lights. It's a $48 light, although if you go to Walmart, the light is the same price as the Pro, and it's the size of the Pro Plus. It's a capacitive touch version of the Pro at 20 inches. Does that light have the same warmth? I don't know. If it does, it might be worth the buy. I think they're good for what they are. I think they're great for the price range they're in. And I'll likely keep the Pro Plus on top of my monitor. I am going to look at a couple other options because Kelvin value really does mean a lot to me. So if there is something that is the size of this, because I do like the size of this with a remote, I will likely swap over to that if it can get warmer. Because I like matching the Kelvin values behind my monitor, in front of my monitor, and just especially when I'm editing photos, because it just helps me to, see what's on the screen better. So for my personal, very specific use case, I may continue down the rabbit hole. I might have a review of the BenQ coming, and I know everybody is like, man, that thing is expensive, and I agree, that thing is expensive. I want to see if that price point gets you a better LED. I'm lighting what I'm currently doing right now with a roto light, and Everybody knows that the price of Rotolight is insane. However, their LEDs are unmatched, unrivaled. I don't have one LED light that can do what this Rotolight does. So I do know the value of a good LED, especially with accurate Kelvin values. Anyway, I think that these are a great option for most people. I think that I am a very specific use case here, but I wanted to tell you, like, maybe you're a creator, maybe you're a photographer, maybe you're a videographer, maybe you're doing something that is, you know, that these things are important to you, and maybe you've gone down the rabbit hole as much as I have. So, would you benefit from one of these? Honestly, soapbox on top of the roof, the fatigue in my eyes is just gone. I haven't had to use eye drops in weeks, and that makes any of these a good option, no matter what. I'm just being really picky, but I think everyone should get a light bar. It's not a cliche YouTube thingy. It's a absolutely wonderful invention. Your eyes will really benefit from getting either of these. So thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you pick one up and which one you went with, and I'd love to know why. Yeah, and if you can, a like. If not, a dislike, although I think they disabled that. Subscribe if you want to. Hit the little bell icon for notifications. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.